Okay, so today I'm in the Throne of Thunder. We've doing a little tutorial on the pathway, the one that blows the wind. Uh, we've had an individual in the guild um, I don't know, maybe express some sort of difficulty on that part, or just pure dissatisfaction. Um, so I'm just going to show you from start to finish all the bosses. Um, so if you're level 110 and you're pretty decently geared, like I'm level 915 on my warrior, but you don't have to be 915 to do this. Um, you can even do this at level 100 if if you really know your class. At 110, probably if you're around 830, 840, item level 850, you can get away with doing the whole boss, the whole raid. So doing Jin Rock. Um, so if you're decently geared, you could probably one-shot most of these bosses, or down them in a few hits anyway. So now we are coming up to the walkway that has the wind pushing on it. So you can see how the wind is going to push, and if you walk on it, you can see that it pushes you. So what we got to do, because we have to go straight, but you also have to walk against the wind. So you have to walk against the wind and walk straight. So what you have to do is kind of sort of run diagonally. Like this. So there's spots in the middle behind these posts where the wind doesn't go. That way you can go pardon me, that way you can go further up and not be here and be pushed off the edge. And another important thing to remember is that the soul flares have sort of an aura about them, and you don't want to go in them because you'll get flung over the edge and you will die. And if you're running on a character that has if you're running on a character that has any sort of speed boost, you can go ahead and do that. Like with the Worgen, with Dark Flight. Ooh, see, that was close. So if you're playing Worgen, you can use Dark Flight. Hold down this guy. If you're a warrior, you have Heroic Leap. If you're playing as Druid, you could maybe as a Druid you can go as Stag form. I haven't done this part with the Druid in a while, but at least you could probably do the cat form. So I mean that would be a little bit faster. If you're playing as a hunter, like you can face the other way, jump and do a disengage, and then you have 3 extra seconds of an increased movement speed. that's, and in order for the wind to stop, the Stormbringer Drazkeel has to be downed. So that's that portion of the raid. And now we approach Horadon. And welcome, weaklings, to the rebirth of the Zandalari Empire. So it's a lot of talk before Horadon breaks out of his pen. And by the time you get to this portion of the raid, after Horadon, so the long corridor, let me get these, they won't kill me. So the long corridor after Horadon, you want to be downing these mobs, because there is a chance that a pet will drop. And if you're a seasoned pet hunter, if you like collecting pets, you'll definitely want to be doing this. You'll definitely want to be downing these guys, because there is that chance that a pet will drop. So nothing yet. So the mount didn't drop today, or I mean, the pet didn't drop this week for this character. Also, I remember another thing for the mount hunters, a mount drops off of Horadon, so that's a good reason to do Horadon. Stick around to do Horadon for the mount. The spawn of Horadon is what it is called, and it's like a blue dinosaur with a chair you can sit on. So you can run just right. You can just run past these guys, and if you aggro them, it's not an issue. You can down them in a couple of hits. Same with these So now we're at council. Is that what it's called? Council of Elders. Okay. So at the Council of Elders, what the High Priestess Marley does, she'll make a pool of quicksand, and if you're in it, you will get stuck for about 30 seconds. So, I mean, a lot of classes should have something to get you out of that. As a warrior, you can use Avatar. Paladin, you can use Hand of Freedom. Monk has Quickscape. Druid, you can shift out of cat form or shift into another form to get out of roots and snares. Not sure about the hunter, but I'm pretty sure a lot of classes have options of getting out of roots and snares and stuns. But what I usually do is I start with the High Priestess, and I just run circles around her. That way, so see, now I'm rooted, but as a warrior, I can cast Avatar, and that gets me out of it. That gets, and you can move again. So really useful if you're doing this as a level 100 or you're level 110, but you're not that geared yet. Because staying in that spot, and if it takes you a little longer to down these guys, it actually still does a little bit of damage to you. But I would, for that fight, it's not really a big issue because it doesn't do too much damage. But I'd still maybe bring like a potion or some bandages. And this is the cutscene that I cannot skip. It asks, are you sure you want to cancel the cinematic? Yes. No, I don't want to. It lets me click no, but not yes. See, what a waste. They built that bridge just for Li Shen to destroy it. So with the bats, you don't have to get the bats. They shouldn't really bother you if you're fighting Tordos. But if you're fighting Tordos on sort of a lower geared character, the Call of Tordos is what you really have to watch out for. And you'll make the blue, you want to get out of the blue on the ground because that would hurt. So just sidestep out of that. And watch out for the shells because they can do a bit of damage to you as well. See, oh, a little more than my quarter of my health went down. So, especially being an undergeared character, doing this on an undergeared character, it could probably hurt you. My nose is itchy today. It could probably even kill you. So yeah, just avoid the blue puddle on the ground with the rocks falling, and avoid the turtle shells Rocks fall, people die. See? Exactly. Just watch out for the falling rocks. Now, for this big chamber going up the Megara, there'll be like a ghost sitting in front of the bell. So you have to kill the ghost first, and then you can click the bell to destroy it. And there's three bells that you have to destroy before you can even touch Megara. So we'll just get him. And I have the quest to get the Rocky Horror. It's like Rocky Horror Picture Show or something. So yeah, for the quest all you do is get him. You don't have to loot him if you don't want to. This is crap anyway. So get your quest reward. It gives you 26 gold, 26 silver, 36 copper. So now we see that Megara has risen from the mists. So with Megara, it has, depending on the difficulty that you're doing it on, I do it on normal 10 because most days when I'm farming for my mount, I'd like to get through Throne of Thunder as quickly as possible. But the amount of health that the bosses will have will vary depending on if you're running normal or heroic 10 or 25 player dungeons. So on normal 10, Megara will have approximately 7.5 million health. See, he can't be targeted. But each of the heads right now only have 878k health. So what you do is how you defeat the boss is you start off by downing the first two heads that are there. They will die. Two more heads will come up, but as you can see, more heads spawn in the background. But your only concern is getting the heads that appear right at the shore line here. So once these two heads die, the health gradually, Megara's total health gradually gets dropped. So now he's at 5.27 mil health. I'll down the next two heads that come up. Wait for the timer to go down. Rampage ends in 2 seconds. They will die. And now Megara is sitting at 4.21 million health. So that's the gist of this fight. Down the two heads that come up closest to the shore. And pretty much keep doing it until the encounter is finished. And if you have a character like a warrior, I can sit there and spam whirlwind. I can sit here in the middle and I can spam whirlwind, and you can see right here that if you spam whirlwind on a warrior, both of the heads health pool goes down. even if there's a head here or here or here, you don't have to move. And any other class that has something similar where you can spam AoE, I would highly suggest that. Which means, that would mean downing Megara even faster. So now we see Megara at 1.5 million health. So we're down the last two heads. So with this add-on is Deadly Boss Mods. It's part of the Classic Raids pack it's the Throne of Thunder pack for DBM. So whether you're doing Throne of Thunder or Siege of Orgrimmar, you'll have special alerts for that raid. So as you saw, when Megara was at 1.5 million health, after you downed the last two heads, you have defeated Megara. And you can loot your treasure box. And you can move on to the next boss. So while in the sewers, you can do a speed buff, you can do a speed boost, you can do anything. As a warrior, you can do Heroic Leap. As a Worgen, you could do Dark Flight. Monks have the Quickscape, Roll, and Flying Serpent Kick. So now, when you're in the sewers leading up to Ji Kun, you don't have to fight the spiders. Like, even if you step on the spider webs, they'll come down, but you don't have to fight them. You can just keep going, and you will not aggro them. It's the snails you have to worry about. They will still one-shot you. So how do you do it? Well, for this one, this is the first one that you encounter on your way to Ji Kun. So all you have to do, really, is stick to the wall and just walk right past him. And he's still sleeping. There's another one on the stairs, on top of the stairs. So if you hug the left side of the stairs, you get by unscathed. And the choking gas, well, that doesn't really hurt. I've never done it on a character that really hurts me. So as you come up to the top of the stairs here, you have another gastropod. And if you have the intent of getting these two, I'd be very careful on AoE as to not get this guy, because you have three snails to down. Or you could do the alternative. Check this out. Okay, let's get him down. Check this out. Now you see where my cursor is on the screen? The sort of ledge. When you're on top of the stairs, you can go right on top of that ledge and you can walk. You can avoid the mosquitoes. You can avoid the two snails if you think they're going to get you. Because if you die from the snails, you have to respawn back at Megara. So you take that ledge and see how there's a gap here where the water is going? Not a problem. Just keep walking. Same with this one, you could just keep walking. But once you hit here, once you hit this, the end of the wall, it'll kick you off. But once you get up to the end of the wall where it kicks you off, just make sure that you're not close enough to the snail where it will kill you. And that's it. I've done it a few times on a few other characters before, and it's worked. And you have also witnessed that it has worked. And you can avoid dealing with the snails. So we'll down G-Kun. It's just a simple getting him down like that. No mechanics or anything like that. 45 gold. So he did not drop them out for me this week. So after G-Kun is down, you need to get to, on your map, you need to get to here. And it's sort of a platform that's higher up. So what you do is that you click one of these feathers. Then you have the button that comes up on your screen and you click it. And now you can fly. Or in my case, swimming through the air. And now you have made it across. So with this sort of trash, it goes down fairly quickly. And after that, the boulders will roll out from the caves. And more trash will appear. And these 4 must be downed before you can, what's his name? Darumu. So these 4 must be downed before Darumu can come. So if you have a ranged attack, only a ranged attack can get these guys. Now the reason I ran away from him, because if I just sit there and let him come to me, so I'll hit him, he'll come, he'll land. Oh, that's a bad example because I killed him quickly. But what happens is if you're there and you hit him and he lands on you, he does sort of a knockback. So that's something to keep in mind, and how you're positioned and where your orientation, where you're looking, because you could get knocked out of the arena and that could kill you and you have to respawn. Not a big issue, but for the purpose of this, it's sort of an inconvenience that we try to avoid. For the purpose of farming, when you're farming anything, we try not to die. You know, it does happen, but for the sake of this video, we try not to die farming Throne of Thunder for the sake of convenience, is all I'm trying to say. So I'll hit him. See how he... Maybe I can... See, like that. That's what he does. But if you're closer to the edge, like here, it's very possible that you can get kicked out of the arena. So here's Darumu. So I'll just whack him once to show you some of the mechanics that lower geared characters may encounter, and ultimately may require healing through bandages, a potion, or self-healing, because doing so, the purple puddles you want to stay out of. And the force of will is what you want to avoid as well. The beams will hurt you as well. And the serious wounds will really hurt you. If you're doing this on level 100 characters, this could really hurt you. So at this point it could be important to keep up the self-healing or bring a few potions for this fight. So after Darumu, you head toward the stairs, and these blobs will go down after a few hits, or one hit depending on what kind of character you are running on. Now the next boss, we have Primordius. If you really want to, you can down all the blobs in the room before you move on to Primordius. I haven't done this on the lower character, downing the blobs before moving on to Primordius. But if you're doing this on a level 100 character, or you're lower geared, I would suggest downing the blobs, just in case, before... Oh, he moved. A little bugger. So I'm just gonna go right at him. Like right when I open the door, they come right at me. It's like I'm interrupting a ritual or something. So with Dark Animus, this is really important. This is important to know. If you're decently geared and have a high amount of AoE, this will be no problem for you. So if you're a warrior and you're spamming Whirlwind, or if you're a demon hunter, or a Death Knight where you can just lay down Death and Decay with Blood Boil, or if you're Feral or a Bear Druid, I think Druids have a high amount of AoE. You'd have no problem doing it. But on a lower geared character, if you're around item level 800, this will still give you problems. And I will do a video of, I have a character at around item level 800 where I'll attempt to do this. And I have attempted to do this with a degree of difficulty. So, and I will demonstrate right now. So we start off by downing the 6 guys around this sort of melting ball of red liquid. And you can start the fight by attacking the Anima Orb. So like I said, if you have a high amount of AoE, so right now I'm playing on my warrior, all I'm doing right now is spamming Whirlwind, and my health hasn't dropped yet a bit. And the larger guys are coming, more of the guys are coming around me. And if you're, and that ball is what you want to avoid as well. You want to get out of that. And eventually, after most of the other people in the room come at you, is when you fight the Dark Animus. And once the Dark Animus has been dealt with, everyone else just gives up. They go to sleep. So if you're doing this on a lower geared character, it may take you a few attempts to do Dark Animus. Because most runs that I do of Throne of Thunder, I only go up to G-Kun because I'm only in it for the mount. But most individuals who are here are also here for transmog. So the Iron Quan, if that's, yeah, the Iron Quan might give you, is another boss that might give you some trouble if you're geared any lower. So again, if you have potions, health potions, it might be a good idea to bring a couple for this fight. And on the second phase, he has a shield. So obviously you don't want to be hitting the shield because you're not doing any damage to him. But yeah, for this fight, just bring a couple of health potions. Try to keep up with if you have any self-healing spells you can do. Go back and sell. Halloween is over. The Halloween event is over, so I can delete that. Next boss we have Twin Consorts. Now I think everything past Darumu, including Darumu, there might be a degree of difficulty doing those bosses on lower geared characters. Because really this video turned out to be how to do to get past the sidewalk with the wind at the beginning after Jin Rock, and how to get past the snails before you get to Ji-kun. Now with Li Shen, you'll be in one of the four corners of the map. And what you do for Li Shen is that you DPS him until the fight goes to phase 2, in which he will move to the middle and he starts, electrocuting himself. So during this phase, you'll have all these electric people, and this is another fight where it would actually be beneficial to have good DPS. And fairly good self-healing if you are doing this on a lower geared character. And that is it. That is Throne of Thunder 10 normal.